This is a story of me got a lesson from learning English. Let's talk about the two types of fear: outside of our control and within our control. First, within our control. No, first, outside of our control. So the outside of control is such as natural disaster or other person's behavior or actions. For example, outside of control, such as weather. Today is kind of hot. No, it's not hot, but we cannot control these, the weather. Next, within our control. These fears are arising from belief, thoughts, and perceptions, such as fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, and also fear of change and the unknown. But these fears can be learned and addressed through intentional actions. Let's talk about the fear of mine. Back in 2006, I went to New Zealand for homestay for 2 weeks. And there was such a wonderful and beautiful moment. I really enjoyed it because there's so much different from Japanese culture and food, community, people, the smell of the ocean, smell of the wood, everything was different. But one thing that I missed was my English ability, because I hated English. But I loved the trip, but I hate it because I really don't understand why we had to study English, because in Japan we speak Japanese and there's no necessity to speak this language. Like as a high school student, I hated English. I had any subject. And because of that, I got really horrible bad grade. I was almost kicked out of school because of my bad grade. And then somehow I survived it because my homeroom teacher was baseball club coach. He allowed me to stay at school, but if he wasn't, I'm not sure about that. And then something happened in 2011. In the year of 2011, I was taking an English class at the company as one of the education programs. And because teacher is so friendly that I thought I wish I could be one of his friends and ask a phone number. And next day I was invited to a party at the bar. No Japanese except for me and the staff at the bar. Drinking, eating, food, music, dancing, and also some of them doing some karaoke at the bar. They are filled with goals and ambitions, such as becoming a photographer, like a pro photographer, or going back to university to get a master's degree, to become a lawyer, and study nuclear fusion. And also, one of them wanted to start his own business. Then I started to think about myself. What is my goal and ambition? Because I didn't have anything like that, so I just wanted to have one of those ambitious goals. Then I went to the bookstore and I found this book. This is a book that I got, and this book basically says that if you want to be an interpreter or translator without education background, you can become it without education background. So I took the exam called TOEIC. TOEIC measures how well non-native speakers can use English in real-world business and workplace situation. And then the first score was 255, which is pretty bad. 255 is like when you write down your name and then you just write down your answer and without looking any questions, and you can get it. that is a 255 words. So basically, I had no skills at all when I started. Then I kept studying grammar, words, sentence, speaking, writing, everything, whatever I could to get a high score. And then I found this school. Yeah, this is a school. This is the principal of the school. I made a phone call to make a reservation for interview. And they said on the phone call, he said, in the school there are a lot of homeworks, and not only homeworks but also a lot of assignments, such as if you want to improve your TOEIC score, then you have to do this curriculum, you have another curriculum, and the other curriculum, and the other homework, and the other program. Like, so much work to do. And he said, we don't want a student who is not fully committed. But I really wanted to master English, to become an interpreter. Sometime in life, we have to make sacrifice at any cost to achieve whatever you want. So I decided to attend a school. It meant 2.5 hour commute, twice a week, Wednesday and Sunday. These are all of my homework. Those are assignments for improving English, and these are assignments for TOEIC, and these are homework. I have a paper with all of these Japanese, and then I read it in English. So like, the funeral is not just for a person who passed away. To make people who live in this world realize that how the time is really important to us. Something like that, you know. I mean, I haven't read this for like 10. I think last time I saw it 2014, which is 11 years ago. I had it. And these are, I spent probably like this book itself. It's only a junior high school level, but I did that every single day. And yeah, this one, I did that every single day for 6 months, because I didn't have any basic grammar skills, and at the same time, like words, you know, this thick, like this thick. I mean, this is so big, and then this is much more than that. And look at this, like, I mean, look, this is yeah. And then this orange one, this is by far the next level. I mean, this is still attached to my memo. And then yeah, like I tape it, you know, taping. Yeah, it's almost gone. Yeah, this is so hard, but it was it. I mean, yeah. Look at these pages. This is the main homework. This is kind of like maybe 2 pounds, maybe 3 pounds. I mean, it's like 2 kilograms, which means which is how weight is that? Maybe 4 pounds, maybe 4 pounds. After 12 months like that, my score hit finally 795. But that was enough, because I needed to get at least 850. So I decided to leave the company so that I can focus on studying. And I told my boss, and he said no, because he saw so many people within a year, he just gave up. So he didn't want to see me to fall into the pattern. That's why he said no, and I had to wait 1 more year. And if I have the same feeling after the year, then I can leave. That's a promise between boss and me. Then the rumor started. One of my colleagues said bluntly that, I know you're not gonna make it. I know you're gonna give up on that, because I know who you are, and you should ask your boss to change your opinion to stay. And who's a really good friend of mine, are you crazy? You cannot even speak English. And the other thing is that most of the people either ignoring my existence or act as if I had done something wrong to them. Someone I trusted for years gave me those comments. There's only one way left. I gotta prove them wrong. On January 31st, 2015, I left the company, and my TOEIC score finally hit 855.
Besides studying, I signed up for a seminar. The organizer was the author of the book. One of her programs she had was the audition for listeners who wants to become an interpreter. And there's no requirement. If you have a skill, you will pass it.
And in summer of 2017, I passed the exam. And the first job was at the global conference in Tokyo. That one was so huge. There was discussion about the future of medicine, humanity, gender, energy, and also living on external planets such as Mars. I was just overwhelmed because, I could not believe that I was there. A guy with no education background was supporting the global event. And a few weeks later, I noticed that I had not received any paycheck. So I checked the contract and I discovered that I was an intern and that no salary. I really wanted this full-time position, but somehow I gave up because I felt at some point I made it. When you feel like you've made it, you get comfortable. When you get comfortable, you stop working hard. And when you stop working hard, what you achieved, you start to fade. Unless you start over, you will lose those skills forever. That's why we need to keep going. We gotta keep going. I shout out all Japanese media, including music, movies, TV shows, everything. It was like living in another country. Because I knew who I was, where I came from. Was lazy, eat whatever I want. So I needed to cut out all of these ways. To improve my speaking skills, I need to talk to somebody else or something. I choose to talk to the camera. I pretend the camera is one of my friends because no matter how imperfect my English might be, he's always listening to me. He plays back, allowing me to review it so that I can choose better words or expression for the next time. So the talking to the camera became my thing. As time passed, this activity developed into YouTube world. Sharing my story so I can reach a wide audience through the internet. Little did I know that this developed into the fear of losing skills. The fear of losing my identity, the skills that I got more than 13 years of work has become deeply tied to myself. How do I overcome this? Someone I know introduced me to Japanese media, Japanese culture. The music, movies, YouTube videos, books, there's no book, and the literature, Japanese literature. That person has such a great sense of Japanese style. The style that I have been avoiding for more than a decade. No matter what I pick, there's so much meaning into it. I feel like I miss something deep inside of me. The joy of having my own language, Japanese, the beauty of it. That person made me realize that I am a Japanese. And just because I listen to, watch, see, touch Japanese media, that doesn't mean that those activities take away my skill. So what does all this mean? Well, here's how I put it. Ambitious goals and dreams are important. Because without those visions, life wouldn't be fun. And sometimes we have to sacrifice to achieve those goals. That's true, that's necessary. But don't forget who you are, where you come from, and the roots of your identity. because we are human and the progress shouldn't be the first priority. Sometimes it should be, but go against the fear. The fear of, in my case, losing skills. Because you may find so much happiness at the other side of the fear. And lastly, keep learning and never stop. See ya.